So she's coming tomorrow, the contractor. I don't hate her. There's no room in my heart for hate, you understand? Not for other people, perhaps for myself, you know. I'm too busy hating myself to hate others, you know. But anyway, let's just set that aside. There's no room in my heart for hate. And if we want to be honest, Kurt or anybody, this woman could very well be as disappointed in her employees and professional plumber or professional plumber, because again, I don't know who did the things like the tub drain and the tub faucet and the shower head and the sink, and I mean, my plumber, my family, longtime family plumber, I call him a family plumber because he's not some big, you know, name brand plumber, okay? Like you think of Roto-Rooter as a name brand. He's not some name. I don't know if you guys in other states have Roto-Rooter, but you know what I mean? He's not some name brand plumber, but he's my family plumber. My mom, he's been around here with us, awesome, long before I was here, okay? Somebody around here when my mom moved in recommended him. What she needed him for, Lord only knows, I doubt she remembers, so it doesn't matter. We've periodically needed him here. He replaced the toilet when it went. He, every several months, few months, not few, but 4, 5, 6 months, hair, you know, hair on the drain. I forgot to ask him about that, actually. This newfangled thing is a supposed hair catcher, but does hair still get down there? Because remember, me and my mom both have long hair, and I forgot to ask him about that, but I don't hate her. Was I angry with her? Oh God, yeah. That's why I needed days to just seethe inside and ignore any texts or voicemails or anything she left for me and keep my voicemail full with, I don't want to talk to anybody, go away, call my mom if you really need to reach me. She knows I'm hurt. She knows it's over. I mean, it's like she can't change what happened. The field adjuster said, you know, I've had contracting things that didn't work out the first time around. Yeah, I feel like there's no excuse, though. These are little things. They seem to be little things. The tub, whatever, the tub drain, I don't know. People fucked up or were careless, who knows. She'll come tomorrow and I'll be like, all right, the first thing I want you to do is put your hand under our sink and see that it's leaking. And my plumber said to put a bowl under there, but it's all around the water, and I asked, he doesn't know exactly where I should put the bowl, you know. We don't know exactly. It's a slow leak, and it's not a constant leak. It's apparently only when it runs, because I thought I was going crazy, and I called him. I'm like, you said this is leaking, but it's dry right now. I can't find the leak anywhere. What are we going to do? I don't want to look like the boy who cried wolf. He's like, well, just run the sink and you'll see, Laura. And he's right. It doesn't run constant. It's just when the sink runs, you know. And I guess the stuff there before evaporates because now it's soaked under there. And yes, it is slowly, you know, it's putting water stains on our brand new wooden vanity. All right? But I would have never paid attention to that. I threw some things under there, and I even said to my plumber, were they wet somehow? Did I do that? He's like, no, Laura, it's leaking from up there. I'm like, you gotta fucking be kidding me. So for the past couple weeks, we had no idea. It causes me to seethe inside. But I really like her. But if she tries to bullshit me or gives me the runaround, who doesn't do what, you know, churchwoman says you insist on having done, including about my fucking bullshit, my closet, it's bullshit, okay? I had thought you were gonna, you know, fix my closet doors that weren't working all that great on those runners that were there on the insurance's dime, because according to you, what you told me up front, they have to make it how it was before. And instead you put those stupid cheap contraptions that my plumber even noticed don't work any better. They work worse, or just as worse, or whatever. And at least you keep the runners there, and I can do what I had planned on doing, and perhaps replace the closet doors with different doors, but you don't take out my runners because you feel like it, and do what you want and put these cheap-ass contraptions there. You have no right. And on top of that, they suck. My plumber started instantly, like, they suck. They don't work any, he didn't use those words, he's like, he's like, this is going to fall down on your head. I'm like, well, it's not, it's attached to the top, but he's like, they don't work any better. I got the feeling that they needed to, the insurance company needed to make everything seem to be wonderful, you know, before they leave. So they had to finagle my closet doors because they weren't the best on them. But no, you just put them back broken. I don't fucking care. You don't change it and put a flat thing there and no runner and this contraption I've never heard of and my plumber's never seen before. And, you know, church woman says she has seen something like that before. But it's bullshit. It's finagling. It's whatever. And it doesn't work any better. It's not like it worked beautifully. It works horribly. How dare you? I have no room in my heart for hate. I have no room in my heart for hate, people. Temporary hate, yeah, but permanent, no. Or temporary anger. There's too much hate. There's too much fucking hate in this world. I have no room in my heart for hate when there's too much fucking hate. This, quote, famous, unquote, actor on Empire, gay guy, you're not immune just because you're famous or just because you're whatever, well-known actor, whatever. Somehow he was in a position and he was alone and he wound up in the... with a noose around his neck and bleach poured on him and people saying, like, go back to hell, faggot, or I don't know what they said. I didn't, it was on World News Tonight. It was Friday and Inside Edition. But you know what I mean? His fame, some of us might envy or whatnot. I mean, I'm just being sarcastic. Didn't help him there, did it? Okay? He's lying there and helpless and they didn't kill him. He poured some kind of chemical on him and put a noose around his neck. It said something about his sexual orientation and that kind of hatred is foreign to most of us. Did I hate my abusive asshole of an ex? Yes. But I also wrote a song, like, even though, I'm trying to remember, I can't remember it all. Even though I ached to shoot him dead and memories replay cruel words he said, you know, I still ache for him, such a lonely, lonely man, and I just don't understand how I still ache for him, you know. To shoot him dead and memories replay cruel words he said, I still ache for him. It's a whole song that I don't remember. It might be gone forever because who knows. And I just don't understand why I still ache for him. Such a lonely, lonely man. Okay, so anyway. I have no room in my heart for hate. Especially when I turn on the news and you know, am bombarded with true hate, you know, with people doing things that I just can't fathom doing to even my worst enemy, you know. Again, it's not that I haven't had bouts of it. You know, I've hated my abusive ex and my aunt and whatnot, but ongoing, no. There are people that allow hatred to fester inside them. They allow it to fester and just until it eats them up alive, you know? Not me. Like I said, I'm too busy hating myself for whatever, for things that comparatively are nothing compared to what a lot of, you know, but people are or do, or it doesn't matter, you know. To love on my shipping. I'm sleeping, but she can get up at any moment. Do we want to make this age restricted? All we have to do is strip, right? Yes, Kurt, we were wrong. But we were not 100% wrong. And now there's a huge discrepancy between what Churchwoman goes out of her way. She called Lowe's, who, you know, sells these products. They're not hardly the only one, but she called Lowe's. She called her personal plumber. She called, you know what I mean? Discrepancy even between what Lowe's told her and what my plumber told me, but nobody's perfect, okay? My common sense tells me I don't care what anybody says. My plumber says there's something to do with the structure of our house that makes it so they can't possibly get that gap any less, okay, for whatever reason. Churchwoman, it's a no-brainer. They're supposed to snap it together like a puzzle and put it in, and there's no reason why it's such a gap compared to the other side. Laura, it should be the same as the other side. And I said, well, so-and-so said this. Well, don't tell the contractor that. It's bull. It's bull. They just were lazy, Laura. They were lazy. My personal family plumber's not happy with them. My mom was gone that day, and she came home, and she was like, because I had her call the field adjuster and call the contractor, and she's like, she wants to be here. She wanted to be here when the plumber was. I'm like, and he heard, and he's like, I don't want to meet her. I don't want to. I'm here telling you and doing you a favor and answering your questions and giving you my input. I don't want to meet her. He didn't want to meet her. Okay. Anyway. Do you blame him? And I didn't want her being here when he was here anyway. I want to vent to him about her and her people. But he did say, looking at this, Laura, I can see why that gap is so large, even though it's the largest gap I've ever seen in these kind of contraptions. Churchwoman, it's a no-brainer. They were lazy and they needed to snap it together more. My plumbers, even though he didn't like them based on, you know, me saying what I'm saying, plus he sees these little things that, my God, a professional plumber didn't check to make sure this or that's working, or what the fuck, you know, that's how he feels. Me too. But it's happened, I have to get over it, and she's coming, and I'm not going to be like, I don't hate her, you know. I'm hurt. She knows I'm hurt. I read you the text I sent her. I've had more hurt in this lifetime. I mean, enough to last me 10 lifetimes, okay? I'm hurt, betrayed. I feel betrayed. But I can't deal with the discrepancy, and I can't deal with the churchwoman arrogance, thinking she's so right. And she's insisting, and I'm like, all for it. I want to be there when they come back and fix everything. I'm like, oh yeah. She's like, do you want me to be there? I'd love you to be there. I want you, but you don't know it's a back and forth. I want you to hear what they have to say that might kind of back up what the plumber said that has to do with the structure of our house. But it does go back to the same thing. I would have never chosen this 4-piece contraption with these big gaps. It's not fair that we're forced to do that. It's not our fault all this thing happened with our floor and whatnot. And we shouldn't be forced to have that, you understand? Even if I was going to go with one of those piece contraptions, because like my plumber said, you can't have the all one piece. It won't fit through your front door and get around the corner and whatnot, okay? And it was built into your house. I understand that, but there are 2 pieces, and he's like, you're right, there are. And 2 pieces would be way better. It's just the tub and the whole thing, but you have to know that it'll come through your door and around the corner. And I said, do you think it would? He's like, I don't know, Laura. See? Okay, so then you're stuck with the 3 or 4 pieces. But to me, they suck because they have such huge gaps. At least on one side of my house, there's a huge gap. And I don't think that's fair because it's even bigger than industry standard. You know, it's like, or what that is allowed acceptable. But then Churchwoman talks to Lowe's, and it's a discrepancy between the Sterling expert, who people other than me are saying there's a gap there of 1/8 of an inch or whatnot, about an 1/8. Is he sure caulking is not required? No, 1/8 of an inch gap is acceptable. Blah blah blah. Sterling tries to make light of the fact that even if technically water's not getting behind there, and again, Lowe's person said to Churchwoman, that's bullshit. He doesn't care what Sterling experts say. It's bullshit. Eventually, water is going to travel everywhere, and these little contraptions that Sterling designs are not foolproof, and water will get behind that gap and hit the wood behind and whatnot, okay? It needs to be sealed. Sealed, sealed, sealed. Obviously nothing in there was sealed, and that gap is larger than anybody should have to, you know, be forced to deal with, you know. It's bigger than the one on the other side. That's why the Churchwoman, when she came to Kurt's, buddy, yes, we were wrong, but, you know, you live and learn, you know. I didn't know. My plumber said, long-time plumber, years and years and years, the biggest fault with this contractor, lack of communication. You mean she didn't tell you were going to have this 4-piece tub with these gaps? No. That's wrong, Laura. You should have been aware that that was going to happen. I know. Lack of communication. The thing with the grab bar, lack of communication, okay? Lack of communication. And you misled me from the start because you most definitely told me it was going to be you and one other guy. And meanwhile, you delegated the work out to your employees and you supervised and whatnot, but you were not here all the time, as I was falsely led to believe by you before I ever hired you would be the case. And I know that, and my mom knows that, because I even said to her, guess what, we're going to have a woman working on our house. Now, when I was back here just that once, it cost over $50, every form of public transportation you could think of to get back here, but I needed certain things that I'd forgotten, okay? Including a razor so I could shave and go in the pool, and I just needed to come back here. And I was met with 2 strangers. I mean, I'd never met them up front. I would have never hired contractors to stay in my home repeatedly, day after day in my home, alone, had I not trusted this woman who in the end, she lied to me. But I'm not going to waste my energy on hating her. It would take too much from hating myself for whatever sins I've committed in this life in my head, right? It doesn't even matter. Do you understand? You can hate yourself simply because you view yourself as a failure. But Chester Bennington and Chris Cornell, for example, they were hardly failures. They were superstars, you know. I'm not saying they hated themselves. I'm saying I don't know, but I do know they took their own lives, you know, so. Maybe they didn't hate themselves, but they hated the idea of their existences, or they wouldn't have killed themselves, you know. The saddest thing to me, and again, I'm focusing on them simply because so many Linkin Park songs I loved, and I knew they were mega fucking famous superstars, and when I was listening to all the songs back then, you don't know if they're just brilliant artists and if they really feel the shit they're singing about, but when the end result is tragedy, then you know they felt it all, that you wondered about what you wondered about, When the time comes, help me leave behind some reason to be missed. Don't resent me. And when you're feeling empty, keep me in your memories. Leave out all the rest. Time comes, help me leave behind some reason to be missed. Don't resent me, keep me in your memories. And when you're feeling empty, keep me in your memories. Leave out all the rest. When the time comes, help me. When the time comes. No, I can't remember. Oh. When the time comes, help me to leave behind some reason to be missed. Don't resent me when you're feeling empty. Keep me in your memories, leave out all the rest. When the time comes, help me leave behind some reason to be missed. Don't resent me, and when you're feeling empty, keep me in your memories, leave out all the rest.